Alright, this is going to be another Sonya rogue point of view video for hopefully every boss in the game eventually. I admit this one I was even a little skeptical to bother making a video with. This boss really is a bit of a joke, even though he's a tier 5 boss. But I figured there was a few random things I could ramble on about to at least point out a couple things to make it easier. He's only got a couple abilities, and you should really only be concerned with one of them. It depends on your raid and how they do things. The first and most important for you is the pounding. He does this every 12 seconds. It does about 1.2 to 1.3k a tick, and he does it for 3 ticks, so a good close to 4,000 damage each time he does it. You can see with our raid setup, we just eat it on up. A shaman chain healing or a priest's prayer circle of healing can keep pretty much a reasonable amount of melee up through that, so long as they're clumped up. The pounding, however, if your raid does not heal through it, is only a little bit bigger than his actual hitbox. So one thing you don't see me do, but you could easily do, is to stay very, very far on the edge of his hitbox, several yards out, and then as soon as he starts to pound, just step outside of the graphical animation and you'll avoid the damage altogether. Now, there's one main problem when you do this. The moment you are out of his pounding range and are not getting hit with that, his second ability will now be able to target you, and that can make things go terribly, terribly wrong. The second ability he's got there, you can see it flying by. It's all those orbs that he's shooting out. Those deal about 5k damage a pop. I haven't gotten hit with one in a while. And they also silence you. Obviously, the silence isn't a big deal. But the moment you step outside his pounding circle, as I mentioned, you are on the list of targets for that now, until you move back in. So the moment you do that, if you're too close to the other melee, he will hit all of the melee with one, which could potentially combo all the melee down if they've just taken a pounding and then get hit with an orb that you shot down on them. Which is why I always say stay consistent in this fight. Either try and stay in or have everyone out so that everyone's ready to just react and have to run away, or spread out, so that you don't all just get comboed like that. The other couple things to watch, or to take note of, I should say, is, for starters, the pounding is a spell effect, so as opposed to certain warrior abilities and things that are cast, you can use Cloak of Shadows to resist the pounding once every minute, and that's usually what I pop it for. You'll see me do that now and then. The only other thing to take special note of is, obviously, one of the mechanics of the fight is that he tries to knock back his current main target, and it drops aggro on them, or not fully, but it reduces some of the aggro that they've dealt. As such, you'll see the tank swapping here because he's a multi-tank fight, and because of that, the tank's aggro is constantly decreasing in proportion to yours as the fight goes on. So if you're a full-out DPS spec, you might have a little troubles later on. So what I would recommend is that you try to blow most of your damage cooldowns right towards the beginning. If you've got Adrenaline Rush, blow it. Any other cooldowns like that, so that once you vanish, even if it's a little early on, you're not dealing that that potential burst that you have while you have no way of getting rid of it. If you've got solid tanks, though, it really shouldn't be too much of a problem. You know, things like feint spamming and such are really pretty overrated. If you're watching this video, I just vanished a little early on, and I don't use a single feint through most of the fight. So that's really about all there is to say about it. I mean, once he's dead, congrats on your tier 5 shoulders. I'm gonna go ahead and let the rest of this just play out. There's not really many other comments to say.